I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rakakadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel brother from the center of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson in transit through the spirit. A morning in transit. Titled, The Most High is getting ready to give his men fame and glory. The brother had sent a video last night, and basically I think it's the brother from the Bay Area, but I think the brother Manalazak Banyami, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name, Salakia brother. But he usually does his like the spiritual power videos, and he put the commentating, the commentary to, and the brothers and the apostles are narrating the scriptures, and he got the dope graphic arc and all that good stuff. You pop out of the way, and it was basically going into how the men of the Lord are getting ready to get that fame and that recognition. And Apostle Tahar was he was narrating it, man, and he was like, what if come to a time that the men of GMS start performing miracles? He said the men of Great Millstone start performing miracles. And I told myself, and I was like, you know what, I was just speaking on that last night. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I was like, the men of the Lord be getting ready to do miracles, man. We in those times that strange things are getting ready to happen, because we're seeing it. Like when we shut down the Day of Atonement camp, Chariot, well, before we shut down, when we officially closed the Day out of Atonement out of the camp, then the Chariot popped up on us, man. And, it was so weird because, it's not like we're not used to seeing chariots, but the Lord actually manifested it on the spot after prayers were sent up. Start believing what you're praying in. You know what I'm saying? Because, the Lord said it. He said, look, anything that you ask for in my name, I will do it. So if you believe in that name, Yahawashi, you can move mountains. It's just a matter of not being afraid and being courageous, because honestly speaking, adversity is all around us, and knowing how to keep composure in that takes practice, man. But it was crazy because I want to say like 30 minutes or an hour before that happened, I was praying to the Lord. I'm like, look, if the sacrifice is accepted, then Baba Kusha, just show us the chariots. And in the back of my mind is like, I knew it would happen, but I wasn't expecting it to happen. And that's well, I take that back. I was expecting it, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting it to pop up right then and there. But I knew in my spirit that could very well happen, if that make any sense. And then the spirit had me looking over to the east. The whole camp, if brothers paid attention, I kept looking over there, because it was just something weird about that cloud that was in the sky, and it hadn't moved the whole camp. I'm like, spirit kept telling me like, look, that's a chariot over there, man. And then lo and behold, the chariot that popped out of the clouds, it came out of nowhere, really nowhere. We looked up, at first it looked like a balloon, but I'm like, ain't no one balloon just gonna be floating, because usually if you see a balloon float, there's multiple balloons. But the way it was moving, it was metallic, and it was changing shapes in the air. It appeared to be very small, but that's apparently what the Most High wanted us to see. But that could have been as big as this city, who knows? But the fact we seen something supernatural. So if we're seeing these things as we're getting ready to enter into another glory, how much more, the miracles? How much more the spiritual power, man? That Yahawashi is going to bestow us with. Because you got to believe in these things, man. That's why he tells us in the book of Acts, the first chapter, it says, behold, you should receive power from here into the utmost parts of the earth. Okay, which is Acts 1:9. One of my favorite scriptures, by the way, because we know that the Lord told him to tarry ye and wait ye in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit came upon him. Because when the Lord supped with him 40 days, he was revealing things into him, and he told him, like, look, the Holy Spirit is going to come upon you in Jerusalem, roughly paraphrasing it. And then you have what they call Pentecost, when the men start speaking in the various tongues, but they understood each other's language, which is a form of spiritual power. So we got to be ready to receive that holy gift, man, and be able to perform with it. Because right now, the Lord has entrusted us with this gospel. He's entrusted us with this word. And you don't want to take that for granted. Because I want to say, out of all the groups I think we're in our affiliates, the ones that follow us, that keep the doctrine. I believe we the ones that only kept the Yawam Kapar, which is the Devatarma, Ashar Yawam Kapar, which is Shar is happy in the Hebrew, or Asher, Ashar, yeah, means happy, which is the tribe. Asher means happy. Ashar Yawam Kapar. But if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if any other group kept their Day of Atonement. You know, because I know groups kind of keep their high holy days in a separate fashion in GMS. See, the thing is to kind of do away with, you know, to try to steer away from the men of Great Millstone, because there's so much tension between us and other camps, because we're looked down upon, but yet we have, you know, the Lord is dealing with us when it comes to the information, the knowledge, the breakdowns. And other camps envy that because they're trying to get it through carnal means. Like the scriptures say, some here preach Yahawashi to obtain a corruptible crown. Most groups don't realize that they're obtaining a corruptible crown because they're going about it some other way. Like the Lord said, he said, anybody that come up any other way is a thief and a robber. You see what I'm saying? So these other groups, man, them not being in the spirit, but they're in the spirit of their own belly, they're obtaining a corruptible crown. And this is why you don't hear the Sakari or IUSUPK or the IUIC or LOI, any of these other groups mentioning that they see chariots. Now they could see them, but they don't really bring out those things because they're more fixated on the things you can see and the things that you can make practical. Okay, but us, we full of the spirit. Anything can happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen. All right, so a couple of precepts here. Shalom, Akim, and Akwathium. That's on the comment board out there. Yahawashi, Yahawashi, bahasham, thumb. All right. Isaiah 28:21. It says, "For the Lord shall rise up as a Mount Perizim, and he should be wroth in the valley of Gibeon, Slaki." And it says that he may do his work, his strange work, and bring to pass his act, a strange act. And that strange act is those miracles, man. From apparitions to miracles to spiritual power. In fact, we're going to get on this side. You know what I'm saying? I used to kind of conflict. Well, when I won't say conflict, but I used to have a hard time putting into context whether we get power on this side or not. But but you know what? It made sense. It was like, well, I know we're going to get power on this side because King David and them had it. The disciples had it in the body. You know, they had it in the flesh as mortal men. So I said, how much more us when we need it? Because Esau is going to bring his troops on this side. Okay? He's going to bring his troops on this side when all hell break loose. And the Lord said when the enemy should come in as a flood, the Lord is going to raise up a standard. You see what I'm saying? And when you go into that word standard, it goes into fly to escape, to disappear, or fly to attack. You know? And I'm like, well, it makes sense that we're going to get the power on this side because, I mean, certain brothers, every brother in this thing, I would say they're more like realists. I mean, they don't really go into spiritual power like that because, I mean, it's just not in their spirit to do it. Not saying they don't believe it, but, you know, a lot of brothers, practical brothers, they don't really say we're going to get it on this side. But then I hear brothers say that we are going to get it on this side. And I'm a firm believer that we're going to get it on this side. Somebody could type that in Habakkuk, I believe it's, now it says, I will perform a work in that day that though you be told to you, you won't believe it, roughly paraphrasing it. That may be Amos or Habakkuk. I forget where it's at, but it goes like this. Behold, the Lord will perform a work in your day that though it be told to you, you won't believe it. Maybe Habakkuk 1, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 1 and 5. It's one of those chapters. But regardless of that, a strange work, man. You know, because right now the spirit world is very, very active. You know, Satan is very active, man. He's putting, trying to put doubt in brothers' minds. He's trying to put fear in your mind. You know, fear in your mind and all types of stuff, man. You know, he trying to make you doubt your abilities. You know, anxiety. You know, like I was speaking with one of the brothers over the weekend on Friday. And he was like, man, you know, when he around people, he just feel kind of afraid and nervous. I said, well, that come from anxiety and an overactive immune system. Overactive nervous system. You know, you got what they call a sympathetic nervous system and lympathetic. And if they're out of balance, then you will begin to have unnatural thoughts. And that's most of us because of the processed food, the air, the water, you know, the stuff they put on TV, these type ordeals, you know. So I was telling him, I said, yeah, that's really a demon, but that's a hard demon to kick, because you get in adversity, they have what they call fight or flight, you know. And through the grace of the Most High, man, we're gonna be in the spirit of defense, man, of defending the hopeful elect, Lord's will. You see. Hold up 1 second, brothers. Matthew's 28. Yep, this is the book of Matthew 9, and I'm gonna start at verses 9 and 29. And it says here, then touch their it says, then touch their eyes, saying, according to your faith be it unto you. Okay? Because you got to understand that most people, that were healed because they faith in Yahawashi. You know, if you didn't have any faith, then, I mean, yeah, the Lord can make you whole, but the Lord is based on your faith, man. And if your faith is all jacked up and, you know, it's not intact, then you can't expect certain things to happen. This is why we tell brothers all the time, be expected for the Most High to give you an expected end. Like, you got to expect salvation. You got to expect to be delivered. And that only comes by belief, you know. But nonetheless, the Lord is getting ready to make us famous, man. Because, you know, like the Apostle Tar said, he said, we're infamous. You know, we're infamous right now. But we're going to be famous. Because all the miracles that's getting ready to be performed, people are going to start coming up to the camps. And they're going to get healed on the spot. And that's what's going to make a big mass of the believers to come in. Because right now, you know, we can't number Israel. We don't know how many Israelites are awoken. But if you think it in a carnal sense, then you ain't seeing 144,000 men on the highways, man. It may not work that way. You know, when the first miracle was performed, then a lot of men are going to start believing. Because even when the Lord was crucified, I believe it was Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, that put his hands, he had to basically touch the Lord. Maybe in Thomas or Philip, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, he had to touch the Lord and really believe, you know. He said, have I been long with you? He said, I've been here this long, yet you have not known me. You know what I'm saying? So certain brothers require a little bit more hands-on and a little bit more direct approach before they can see things for what it is. You know, and that's how the Lord set it up. Same thing with the blind man. The disciples asked him, they said, well, look, is this man blind? Like, who sinned, him and his parents? He said, neither. But basically, he was blind for this very day, for this particular miracle, man. You know, so you got those instances that certain people are created jacked up just to, you know, be healed, to be a testimony and a witness. That's why it says, then touch he their eyes, saying, according to your faith it be unto you. And that's symbolic too, as well as opening your eyes to this truth. Okay, because you had to have some type of belief in a higher power to come into this thing. And then certain brothers probably didn't have any belief, but the Lord called them anyway, because that was his purpose. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, call Allah Yahawashi. Matthew's 28:20. It says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you, and to I am with you always, and even to the ends of the world. Amen. And those words of comfort, because no matter what you go through, and I know it's easier said than done, because being put in adverse situations is not necessarily fun, because you're thinking about how I'm going to react. And I always see this fucking cop. I always see this number 944, bro. I always see that same cop everywhere I go. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, this is a very known cop out here or some shit. Because, like, I seen him 2 days ago, and I was on the highway with him. So it's just like, why am I continuing to run into this man? You know? But who knows? But anyway, this motherfucking transmission going out, man. That's Satan, bro. Anyway, it says, teaching them to observe all things whatsoever I have commanded you. And lo, it says, I'm with you always, even into the ends of the world. Okay, so Yahawashi is with us, man. And you got to believe that. You know, you got to believe that. Because if you don't believe that, then it's just like, you're wasting your time here. Okay, you have to believe and know and understand that our Lord is with us. All right. John 8:38, it says, I speak that which I have seen with my Father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. All right. Habakkuk 1:5. Behold, ye among the heathen. Who's among the heathen? Us, the Israelites, man. We're scattered. All right. Heathen in regard and wonder marvelously, for I will though it be told to you, right? Because right now we telling Jake that power is coming back. We're telling Jake that we're gonna get glory. You know, the Lord is gonna deal with us. He's gonna, you know, really build us up to do what we have to do. And Lord's will, we're gonna be the first fruits. Like we always, what Apostle Tahar starts his videos off with, you know, Shalom to 144,000. Because we're in that time, and that's spiritual, man. Like he coined this year, the year of all the prophecies coming to pass, hopefully. And though all the prophecies didn't come to pass, prophecies are taking place because it's setting up everything for the final prophecy. Like we've seen the alliance of different nations of the BRICS. We've seen the push for the CBDC, the Fed now, the MOTB. We're seeing changes of World War III. So that's all the prophecies right there. You know, they're all being set up to be in fruition. Now these things could come to pass next year, the year after next. But regardless of that, they're getting ready to come to pass sooner than what we believe. And I know I'm not tripping. I'm always seeing this cop. You know. But anyway, but yeah, man, you know. So by him coining, you know, this year the hopeful prophecies, that's an act. Those are miracles come. Well, those are acts coming to pass. Those are things that Jake didn't believe that was gonna happen. They're happening because now you have everybody and their mother on TikTok, on YouTube. Everybody wants to be a prophet now. You know, everybody wants to break down BRICS and the economic form and the economic collapse, and everybody wants to say, well, the election, this and this and that. Like everybody just want to be prophets and shit now. You know, but it says here, behold ye among the heathen, it says, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work in your days which ye would not believe, though it be told to you. That's right, man. And that power is coming. I believe it. You know, because we in a time now that miracles are getting ready to be performed because shit, the pestilence is getting ready to come. You're gonna have some brothers and sisters that's been watching our videos. They're gonna come up to a camp sick, and we gonna put hands on them and we gonna heal them. It ain't gonna even be of us. In back of your mind, you're gonna be like, how in the hell did I do that? But it's gonna be of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. You know? And it's gonna be a beautiful thing, and that's gonna get national attention. And then that's when Esau may decide to cut the internet, or he may roll on us, or however you gonna do. But they showed a similar thing when the X-Men, when they had to live underground, because their powers and the government was hunting them. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with that movie. It's another movie called, it's a lot of shows that goes into these people having powers, but the government hunting them. You got the movie Glass, you got Split, then I think you got Unbreakable, which is like a 3-part series. And actually, I got 2 of the movies at home, and I need to actually watch it, you know, because I haven't watched them yet. But, you know, allegedly they're pretty good. But it goes into the supernatural abilities, man. You know, so, hey, brothers, you know, put yourselves in a position to how the Lord to do miracles through you, man. You know, just be in a position to do it and accept it. And know that, hey, you know, if the Lord chose you to do it, it's because, hey, he found you worthy to do so. You know, though we ain't nothing, we are low, our righteousness is filthy rags. End of the day, you still got to give yourself some type of credit for maintaining and staying diligent. Like the Tom was saying, look, I ain't shit, but a piece of shit. We know our flesh ain't shit. Our flesh is wicked as hell. It's demon. Yeah, we got demons on us in the flesh. But overall, you got to still, you know, building yourself up, talking highly of yourself, man. Not in a proud sense, but in a righteous sense, man. Like, hey, man, you know, we think we're doing a good work. Of course, you know, we're being too humble. But the scriptures say, hey, don't. So you got to start believing in yourself. Me personally, I believe I'm a special brother. I believe I mean something to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And I believe that now because I've told myself so many times that I didn't mean anything to him. To the point, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you saying? Like, just because life have dealt you a shitty deal doesn't mean that you're not valuable in the eyes of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, man. You know, we got to stop telling ourselves that our power just think we ain't shit. He knows we ain't right in the flesh, man. But the fact that you're carrying out the task at hand in the flesh, that shows a lot. God says the angels desire and wish to do the things we do. You got the angels sitting back amazed, like, damn, how are they doing it? Because to us, it's a light thing. It's like, hey, okay, this is just what we do. But in their eyes, this is like a heavy thing because you're so accustomed to this life, this hell. The prophets seen a day from the ancient world, they would literally faint and have they would lose their mind if they was transported from the ancient world to this time. They would literally lose their minds as to what they're seeing. Televisions, man, women naked, you know what I'm saying? Esau, literally empowered the prophets would lose their fucking minds, man. You know? So you got to tell yourself, like, look, man, I know I'm something in the eyes of Yahawashi. I might not be nothing in the eyes of the world or the people, but hey, the Yahawashi said it. He said, behold, if the world hated you, just know that it hated me before it hated you. And I testify of it because I testify that the works thereof are evil. And this is an evil, wicked place, because who would want to accept the prophet of the Lord? You know what I'm saying? That knows and that deals with the very power and essence that created everything around us. You got to be a stupid idiot if you don't want no dealings with a man like that. You got to be out your mind, man. You got to literally be retarded. You know what I'm saying? But this world has been conditioned to reject the prophets, man, through Esau's dogma. You see? So therefore, hey, man, brother, start believing. Start telling them, look, man, start saying, look, I know the Lord dealing with me. After what we saw Friday evening, you know what I'm saying? I believe the Lord. I know the Lord is dealing with my camp. Lord dealing with Great Millstone, Kansas City, man. I don't give a damn who see different. You know what I'm saying? We've got a lot of doubters and a lot of scoffers, a lot of skeptics on our videos, man. I was told I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't a brother. I was told that I ought to be counseled. You know what I'm saying? All types of shit, man. You know, that I wasn't a good leader. I've been told all this shit, man. You know, I was told that my brothers was going to betray me. I was told a lot of shit from left-hand side, man, that try to keep fearing me. But now it's just like, man, can no gainsayer or no soothsayer say a damn thing for what the Most High is doing with us, man. You know, I was called angry. I was called fucking abrasive, all types of stuff, man. You know? So it's just like now, it's just like, man, what can you say now? You know? Because you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. You know, because I used to really be a real firecracker out there. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very fiery as hell, and I'm still like that. But you know, now I just know when to bring that line out when I need to, instead of having him out 24/7. Motherfucker come up, he gonna get his head bit off. You know, I'm operating wiser now. But people didn't have a lot of faith in my group or me as a leader. You know, I say it that way. You know, the men that stuck by me in all things and we stuck by, they found, you know, they found belief in this thing. You know, but overall, man, you know, people wasn't really banking on us, man. And to this day, people still doubt us, but that's all good because, you know, the prophets were always doubted. You know, people didn't think the apostles was going to make it this far either, but they did. And now look at the fruit that they got. So at the end of the day, man, I mean, yeah, you may be a little different, however, but hey, if the Lord is dealing with you, can't nobody take that from you. Straight up. And we getting ready to find that out in a major way. You know, it's gonna be a lot of you young brothers, man, a lot of you young, sincere men in this thing. You're gonna be the ones that the Lord is gonna use to do these things, these big things. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna come through men we expect it to come too. But hey, a lot of you young brothers, man, you getting ready to be put in some positions to step it up. So be ready to receive that. You know? But anyway, brothers, man, that was pretty much it. I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Dash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And with that, shalom and a ball. Shalom.